Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is really intended for like an ex, no contact situation, someone you haven't talked to in a while, and seeing if you are still on their mind, seeing if they care at all. We're really going to try to be brutally honest and see what's going on in their head and their emotions towards you. Like, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? If they're feeling or thinking anything, do they care? Do they not think of you at all? We're going to be getting into all of it. And of course, welcome to this channel. If you're new, you're going to see which of these cards is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps and the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, I do want to mention that I am actually going to be going on a little bit of a hiatus. So if you have been considering booking a reading with me, maybe debating that or not sure, just know that I am going to be clearing my calendar and not doing readings for a while for the foreseeable future. So if that's something you have been wanting, then you should probably go ahead and book sooner rather than later, because I am going to be going on a little bit of a break and probably over here on YouTube as well. I'm still going to be posting on my Patreon, but for a private reading, you may want to get that booking in soon, and then I will be taking my little hiatus. So yeah, just wanted to give everyone a heads up so no one is shocked when they go to book a reading and then it's like, oh, no slots available. But anyway, if you are interested in booking a session with me, you can have it focus on tarot, mediumship, channeling, astrology. You can have it be quick, 30 minutes or an hour. You can have it be pre-recorded or a live one-on-one Zoom call, and all of those can be booked on my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. And also, if you would like to join my Patreon, like I said, I'm going to be continuing to post over there for sure. And so the link for that is going to be underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. So you will get access to over 100 exclusive readings. And then you also get to watch my YouTube videos early access to them. But I'm actually not going to be posting as much over here. So going to be focusing more on Patreon, but you get all that exclusive access, and that's where you will be able to find me during my little break. I'm not sure. I mean, I may still post some things over on YouTube, but definitely the focus is going to be Patreon, and I'm going to be taking a lot of time off. So anyway, if you want to sign up for Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description, and I would love to see you there. So that's about all I have to say, guys. If you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. You guys got the Magician, the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Cups reversed, the Feralt, aka Temperance, the Justice card, Ace of Cups, and the Two of Cups. So yes, I would say overall, this person is definitely thinking about you. I feel like it's almost like a compulsion to them. They cannot stop having you on their mind. They cannot stop thinking of you. Their feelings are still really strong. I couldn't show you guys this card because on this deck, it's kind of a raunchy image, but you also got the Lovers. So you got the Two of Cups and the Lovers, which are the two most kind of romantic feeling, emotional love cards in the whole tarot. So I would say definitely this person does think about you. They may have tried to move on. They may have been with someone else with that Eight of Cups reversed, but you're still on their mind. And I just saw someone's eyes when they are mad, like someone whose facial expression, and I'm seeing the eyes specifically kind of narrowed in anger, and maybe they're shouting or something. And I feel like this person thinks back on that with you, but not even in a bad way. Like in a way, it's a turn on for them with that Queen of Wands. They loved to see your fire and your passion. And I'm feeling like this person is saying like I overestimated. Like I feel like in a way they thought that they could maybe upset you and then come back and that you would forgive them or you would move past things. And I feel like they didn't realize that you meant every word when you called them out, or, you know, you weren't joking around, something like that, or that if they hurt you, you would really move on. I think they thought that they could kind of go away. I'm also feeling like this person may have been a little bit like overwhelmed by the feelings for you and how deep it felt. With the Magician card, I feel like they were shocked by the spiritual nature of this connection. You know, they were shocked by something that didn't really feel completely human. It felt spiritual to them. It felt otherworldly. And even though that was exciting to them, I also feel like it really scared the heck out of them. And I think they have been surprised with the Temperance card by how long this has lasted, how their feelings are still so strong. I also feel like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people who picked this pile, like this person tries to suppress it. So they may not reach out to you. They may have a new partner, because I feel like there's a lot of them making a conscious choice to like move on and just hoping things are going to go away. Also, I'm getting a feeling of shame coming through, a feeling of like, I'm too embarrassed at this point to admit or to tell anyone. I feel like this person, they just honestly want it all to go away. Like if they could wave a magic wand and they could cut off their feelings, they very well might. You know, this is not fun for them. This is not enjoyable. This is not what they wanted. And I feel like deep down, they may even feel some shame. They may be like, am I crazy? Like, why am I still obsessed with pile one? Or why do I think of them this much? Or why has it been so much time and I can't get them off my mind? Or why am I with this other partner? And you could be like their dirty little secret in their mind that they don't want to let their partner know, you know, and they may not ever mention you. Or their partner may have gotten like, that's interesting, when they're talking about an ex and they, you know, maybe they're talking about past relationships. They're having that discussion like, who did you date in the past? And they're talking about everyone else and they look kind of normal, and then there's like a shadow that passes their face if they bring you up, you know, or they'll say, well, I had a situationship but it was nothing serious or something like that. But this person may be able to tell like, okay, that was a little weird, that did not look like a normal reaction the way they are with everyone else. So yeah, I would say they definitely still care a lot. And what I just keep getting is this strong sense of, I wish I didn't care, and I'm upset that I care so much, and I really am embarrassed. Like, I feel like deep down, this person low-key kind of resents you. There's still maybe some anger. There's still maybe some, I feel like a lot of times too, it is low-key like embarrassment, shame, because they care so much, you know? They wish they didn't. They wish that they were just chill about you, but the feelings are really strong and overwhelming. And with the Queen of Wands, they see you as very sexy. They also may see you as quite willful, someone who does your own thing, someone who can't be controlled. I'm hearing that song, Can't Be Tamed by Miley Cyrus. Like, you're not going to tolerate stuff. And I feel like that's what this person hated. Like, they love it, but they hate it at the same time. And they may have picked a partner that's like easier to deal with. I'm also hearing that song Wasted on You by Morgan Wallen. That's like all of this time and all of that money. I don't know the exact lyrics, but I feel like this person, yeah, there's a little bitterness. There's a little like resentment. There's a little like, you know, almost like I feel like this person is saying, you could have fixed it, or you're the one who left me, or this is your fault. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of kind of blaming you. That, again, is why I feel like this person would never want you to know how much they think of you, because they do blame you and they don't want to give you that happiness or that satisfaction, and they don't want you to know how down bad they are. Yeah, let me get into this deck for you, pile number one. So let's see. How is this person still feeling towards pile one? Do they still care? Do they have emotions towards pile one at this point? Animal totems. This one says sensitivity and strength. Okay, so now, interesting. Journey guide, travel, change in location, Archangel Raguel, justice, harmony, solutions. Okay, so now this is coming out really fast, so I want to channel it quickly. Because when I tune into this card, I'm hearing, oh, I almost just lost it. Let me see if I can get it back. I'm hearing why this person is so upset. Yes, that's okay. Spirit just said it in my mind again, because I'm feeling this person showed you a different side of themselves than they've showed anyone else. And I'm also hearing when this person met you, they thought everything was going to work out. That could also resonate with this confusion card. Like they thought, okay, this is endgame. I'm seeing someone like looking so happy and peaceful, like looking like, oh, yes, like I'm in love, and there's this optimism there. There's this feeling of it's all going to work out. Everything's awesome. I found my person. We're going to be together forever. And I feel like this person had this deep sense that like, okay, I met my person. I've been looking for them. We're all going to work out. And they were thinking about the future. They may have pictured like having kids with you or starting a family or moving in with you or whatever, something. And I feel like it's almost like they're feeling like I was lied to. You know how some women will come out and they'll say like, we were lied to about Disney films. We were promised Prince Charming, and then there's all these like dusty guys on Hinge. You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of the gist of what this person is saying. Like they thought that if they ever felt this kind of way, that it would lead to marriage, it would lead to kids, it would lead to forever. And now it's like, how could this have backfired so much? I also feel like low key, maybe some of you guys like, I feel like I could see some of you guys who picked this pile, it blowing up early or earlier than this person thought, because I keep getting that like there were certain milestones that this person wanted to hit that they couldn't. And also I feel like it made them embarrassed because it's been very hard for them to talk about it to anyone else. So maybe you guys stayed like a situationship, or this stayed a crush, or it was a relationship but it ended quickly, or maybe this person was just imagining like, oh, we'll be together for 20 years, we'll have kids together, we will grow old together. But I feel like they have a hard time opening up to other people because it's like they feel crazy saying how much they care, saying that they're still upset about it. Like I said, that's why I'm like, was a lot of these situationships or something where there was no labels? Because I feel like they feel very sad and pathetic for being so upset. It's almost giving like, I don't want to be a simp type vibes. And I feel like this person feels they have no one else to talk to about it, and they're very embarrassed. They feel very alone. They feel very crazy. I feel like they rack their brain of like, am I just an idiot, or am I delusional, or am I like, why am I such a loser that I'm still thinking of this person, And they don't want anyone to know because they feel like, again, it's like low-key embarrassing that they care so much. They feel like if anyone could know how much time they spend thinking about you, that they would be like, you're insane, or you need to go to therapy, or like, this is not normal because you guys weren't together that long, or like, you guys never got married, or, whatever it is. There's this feeling of, I look crazy for this, and I don't want anyone to know how bothered and upset I am. Then we also got Archangel Raguel, which rules over justice, and we also got the Justice card. So that's really interesting. The Justice card in tarot can talk about karma. So I feel like in a way, this person is saying that they perceive you getting negative karma, or that you deserve negative karma. Again, there's a little bitterness coming through. I'm not going to lie. It's not all love. It's like they say there's a thin line between love and hate, or the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And I feel like this person, it's almost like maybe they're a little emotionally immature, and it's hard for them to say just like, yeah, I'm really upset and I messed things up and it wasn't perfect, and some of it's my fault, some of it's pile one's fault. So instead they just kind of blame you, and they just go like, yeah, she lied, she tricked me. Again, I'm hearing that Morgan Wallen song so loud in my head, Wasted on You, where it's like, all of my time and all of my money. I don't know the other lyrics, but the point is he's going over like, I wasted all this time on you. And it's kind of a bitter song, So I feel like that's how this person is feeling, like, wow, I just lost everything. I'm also hearing now Down Bad by Taylor Swift, where it's like this yeah, there's a lot of bitter, upset songs, kind of angry breakup songs coming through. Not like the, wow, I love you, but I have to move on. It's like, I'm still mad. I'm still in that part of the processing of the breakup that, like, I'm angry. And that's what I'm hearing in my mind. I do feel like that Justice card could talk about that with the karma, because Justice card does rule over karma. And the Justice card can talk about legal arrangements. It is ruled by Libra, which rules the seventh house of marriage. So again, I think this person, like, in their mind, whatever you guys had was really serious. I also feel like this person feels a sense of betrayal if they do see you with someone else. In the same way, if you were married to someone, you would be annoyed if they were dating someone else. That's cheating, right? So even if you guys have broken up, they may still be like, how could you be dating someone else? What the heck? And be mad about it. The other thing that's coming through with that Libra energy, Libras don't have the best time expressing anger. This is why Mars is debilitated in Libra, so it's not a happy placement for Mars, and Mars does not do well there because it's not really the best energy to express anger, because Libra loves peace and loves harmony. So my point is this person, I feel like they kind of moderated themselves, and they may have had a hard time really opening up and being completely honest about things and telling you, like, I'm honestly upset, or I'm annoyed, or like, I feel this is really unfair. I don't feel like this person felt comfortable doing that. I feel like they kind of like bit their tongue, and I feel like they didn't want to come on too strong, or they didn't want you to know how much they cared, because again, they think that would be crazy. Let me get into this tarot. So Spirit, what is this person still caring about pile one? Did they still think of them? Do they still have emotions towards them? Okay, we got the Sun, the Magician coming out again, the Nine of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, a lot of Pentacles. I'm telling you, all these Pentacle cards, and I just keep hearing that line over and over in my mind. All of this time and all of this money, you know, so there is this real sense of like, I invested so much in you, or I gave so much to you, and you rejected me, or it wasn't good enough for you, or you know, ran away. I feel like this person, low key, they are vindictive. I'm not saying they want you to suffer, but there is a low vibrational element of that where, honestly, like I said, I feel like it's just low vibrational love that like is being twisted and misplaced, and it's so painful for them to feel the disappointment and the loss that they would rather, when they think of you, feel angry and feel vindictive and feel like, yeah, you tricked me or whatever. It's very hard for them, because I feel like admitting that they really lost you is like a great loss of their life. You know, it's something that they really bitterly regret. And it's something that when they think of, it's just so painful that it's almost like they can't go there, you know? It's like, I was talking to someone recently, and this person was telling me about how they were offered a job at Google in like, I don't know, 2001 or something, 1999, like right before Google got really big, you know, and they were saying like the pay was already pretty good at Google, but it was probably, you know, not as good as it's going to be. And maybe they could have gotten stock options, and they were saying that they didn't do it because they were like going to be a stay-at-home mom, and they and their husband decided, she and her husband decided that like she should stay at home. And anyway, she was just telling me, it's the biggest regret of my life, and you know, I could have had so much more money. And then she and her husband got divorced. And I feel like that's what's coming to my mind, you know, just this regret that you have that just lives in your mind, like, oh, I wish I could go back and do that differently. But again, I don't feel like this person has the maturity to say like, hey, I really screwed up, and honestly, I regret it. That's like too humbling for them. So instead, they live on this bitterness vibe. They live on this like, I'm really angry about everything that happened. And I also feel like they have been disappointed by the other connections they've had. The Seven of Pentacles can have a bitterness or a disappointing energy to it. It's like you've been working really hard and you haven't been seeing a payoff yet. And so I feel like if they are in other relationships, they could feel like, it's just not fair because now I finally got what I wanted, or I'm finally in a relationship, or now I have this commitment from this person, and it's still not making me happy. I also feel like this person is blaming you and saying maybe you weren't wanting commitment or you're too independent. I feel like they see you as the sun and the star. The star card is ruled by Aquarius in astrology. The sun is ruled by Leo. And that axis is all about kind of shining bright and doing your own thing. It's like, it's not a tied down type of energy. It's not a like, oh, let me just dim my light and I'll just make you comfortable. The sun is going to shine bright and do what it wants to do. Aquarians are always going to be independent and kind of trailblazers, and they're not a sign that likes to be tied down. And I just get the vibe with you that you were like not willing to tolerate something, or you weren't accepting of something. And now this person does feel that bitterness of like, oh, right, so I wasn't good enough, right? Or so you had to just do your own thing all the time, didn't you? And there's all this like almost rage coming through about, I feel like deep down inside this person does feel like they just weren't good enough, and they definitely sit around and wonder like, well, what are you going to do? Well, are you going to actually find someone, or are you going to end up alone? And there is a little bit of like that schadenfreude or anger coming through of, why should pile number one succeed? They left me. But I feel like, again, it really is a disguise for love, and it is a disguise for how deeply they felt hurt, and that they are still kind of in awe of you and in awe of the way you kind of forge your own path and do your own thing. Let me get into these song cards and see what songs are coming up for pile number one with this person. So we got Only You, Ellie Goulding. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like this person wishes there was someone else that they could care about as much, but unfortunately for them, it's only you that can make them feel that way. She's so lovely. Beach House. Underneath it all, No Doubt. And underneath it all, Lover, Taylor Swift. And Lover kind of sum up the vulnerability that I'm picking up on, that I feel like is what now makes this person so enraged, because they really felt like they opened up to you. They really felt like they showed you things that they had showed no one else. They really felt like they got to a place emotionally with you that they just haven't been able to reach with anyone, and that you saw levels or layers to them that even if they're in a new relationship, they may not go as deep with this person. They may not reach that same level of love or heartbreak or feeling. And also I feel like telling this person like what's really on their mind, and being open and being honest and being vulnerable. They felt that way with you, and now it's like they feel like a fool. They feel stupid and dumb for doing it. Let's see. This one is Wildest Dreams, Taylor Swift. And I love that lyric where she says, you'll see me in hindsight, tangled up with you all night, burning it down. And I feel like that's definitely a vibe for this person. Even though they don't want these emotions, they don't want these memories, they don't want these feelings, they still have these strong feelings towards you. They still see these images of you. They still have so many things that remind them of you. And I feel like that drives them crazy, that they can't escape it, that like random events happen and trigger memories of you. And it just makes them mad. Like they're like, oh, if they could do like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and blot out everyone else, they probably would. Or blot out you in particular, they probably would. Because I feel like they sometimes just feel like, what the heck? Am I always going to feel this strong? Why am I being inundated with memories? Why do I still care? Why do I still have emotions? Let's see. We got Every Little Kiss, Bruce Hornsby. They may have been very attracted to your lips, pile one. And Smile Like You Mean It, The Killers. So I love Smile Like You Mean It. And I feel like that sums up also another thing with this person where they are definitely putting on a bit of an act. They do the fake smile thing. They do the like, me thinking about pile one? Dude, I don't even know what that chick is up to anymore type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like this person will definitely lie and say like, I don't care about pile one. Oh my God, what a joke. Or like, I mean, bro, we dated for like 6 months. She's not important to me. And they're doing a lot of downplaying. I feel like it drives them crazy that they care so much about you. It drives them crazy that their friends may be like, I can see through this. Like, I know you still care. And their friends may ask about you. That like sends them up the wall. They just can't stand it. So they definitely do the smile like you mean it vibe of like pretending that everything's cool and acting like, I don't even care. I don't have emotions like that. Like it wasn't a big deal. It was a fling. It didn't matter to me. They really lean into that. And I feel like when it comes to even being honest with themselves and even being vulnerable with themselves when they're alone, they really don't like that. It makes them feel weak. It makes them feel pathetic. It makes them feel like a total loser to confront their feelings for you and to be honest about that. So they do a lot of this faking and LARPing and kind of bravado. And I feel like I really wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people in this pile, like whoever this person is, not you, but this person, that they would like date new people or they would be in another relationship, because I feel like they really want to prove to everyone, including themselves, that they don't care. They do not want people to know that they check your Instagram. They do not want people to know that they think of you. They do not want people to know that they still get jealous when they see you with someone else. And they know how ridiculous they sound, or how like out of pocket it is for them to still feel possessive of you and jealous. So they're not going to admit that to anyone. They're going to just act like it's just completely like, no, I moved on. I don't care anymore. Let me get some astro dice for you. Pile number 1. What are the astrological energies that play for pile 1 spirit? So we have Uranus, which rules Aquarius. Then we have Aries, Taurus. So we have Aries, Taurus, Aquarius. So let's start left to right. Or actually, I want to start with Aquarius since I already mentioned it. Again, I feel like that's kind of your energy. It could also be a bit of theirs. But what's coming through is that Aquarian independent streak and kind of like, I'm going to do my own thing vibe that a lot of Aquarians have. And I feel like you give off that vibe. Like you seem like someone who you were like, no, I'm not going to. The thing about Aquarius, it's very independent and very kind of self-reliant. It rules the 11th house of hopes and wishes and also large groups of people. So Aquarians can be more attuned to like larger groups of friends than they are to like an individual. Oh my God, I need this one marriage to work, or I need this relationship to work. It's almost like they're looking at the larger scale, the big picture of humanity, not just like, oh, my person is my only friend and they're the only one I want to talk to and they're my world. They're much more like communal, I guess. So I feel like you had that independent streak where if they made threats to you about like, well, then I'm leaving you, or if they tried to give you that scarcity mindset of like, you need me, you were like, no, I don't. I can be fine on my own. I'm going to thrive. And now you've proven that and you've thrived and succeeded. And I feel like that's what drives this person up a wall, because they really want you to need them. They really want you to depend on them. They really want you to be like obsessed with them. That kind of is the same energy as Aries, because Aries is very independent. Like Venus in Aries is an extremely independent energy. So is Venus in Aquarius, and can be both non-committal and kind of like not super down for commitment unless they really care. Aries is super, super independent minded. So I feel like that's what's coming through. Aries is also like a fighting energy. And this person may say that you like to fight. Again, when I tuned into the energy at the beginning, the first image Spirit showed me was 2 like eyes, then they're like narrowed and there's someone's fighting. You can just see the expression. You can see the passion, the anger, the flame in their eyes. They're like, saying something really mad, and you can just see their eyes like shooting out this emotion, right? And that's what I feel like this person, in a way, it's like this push pull. They are so attracted to that side of you, but then it also upsets them or drives them crazy, or they say, well, she's nuts, or she just loves to fight, or whatever. So it is that like push pull back and forth, kind of this person loving something but also not wanting to admit it and running away from it. Then we also have Taurus. So Taurus rules the second house. It is ruled by Venus, and Taurus is, yeah, it is ruled by Venus. It's all about love and also the finer things in life, the five senses. I feel like this person really does see you as incredibly beautiful, incredibly attractive. Venus rules over beauty. And they are, the thing about Taurus, it is a fixed sign, so is Aquarius. I feel like their emotions have really not changed. However they felt about you has not gone away. They are still stuck there. I'm now hearing that Taylor Swift song that's like, what is it? It's like, help, I'm still at the restaurant, sitting in a corner I haunt. That's such a great song. Right Where You Left Me, that's the name. So yeah, I feel like they haven't really moved on. They still feel those really strong feelings. And it's like, no matter how much they try to move on, no matter how much they try to move forward, their mind still is on you. They are still really focused on you, pile one. So yeah, I would say they definitely still care. You're definitely still on their mind. And even if they try to date someone else, like their mind is constantly circling back to you. And it may drive them crazy, but that's how they feel. That's what I'm getting. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I really hope that resonates, guys. If it does, let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys and hearing your thoughts, your stories, your reflections. Also, if you want to give this reading a thumbs up, that really helps the channel. And if you want to turn on notifications, that helps as well. Yeah, and if you guys want to see more of my content, then be sure to check out my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. They always get posted over there first. I just posted, what did I post a reading on? I just posted a reading about messages from your future spouse, your future husband. So if that sounds good to you, or you want to see all the other readings, there are so many and they go up all the time. It's hard for me to even remember all the different topics. Then head on over to my Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps and the comments and the description. And I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focusing on tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, you can really choose what kind of reading you want, how long you want it to go, whether it's pre-recorded, whether it's live, one-on-one. You get to really customize your session so it's the perfect session for you. And I do think I'm going to be taking a little break from readings. So if you have been debating getting a reading with me, this is definitely the time to do it, because honestly, I'm not quite sure when I'm going to pick them back up again. I've been super busy lately. So if you want to book a reading, then do it quickly, and I will be taking a little break soon. But anyway, I will be back again, I think, over here on YouTube soon as well, hopefully. So I am sending you all my love, and I will see you soon whenever I post my next reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your readings. You guys got the Prince of Wands, the Princess of Swords, Two of Wands, Eight of Wands, the Moon, the Two of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. So, does this person still care about you, still think about you? I think they do, but I'm also getting like this sense of ownership and this sense of bravado coming from this person. I'm not going to lie. The Prince of Wands can be a bit of a player card if this person has seemed like an F-boy or an F girl are hard to pin down. One thing I'm getting from their energy is it could be kind of cagey. The moon card in tarot can talk about kind of delusions or lies or misperceptions. And sometimes I feel like this person creates a lot of that. You know, I feel like they were really drawn to you, but their higher self is also saying with the Princess of Swords that possibly what you require from them is more than they can give. Like, honestly, they could just be in it for a fun time, depending. And they're trying to be in Princess of Wands or Prince of Wands mode, and you're in Princess of Swords mode. You're requiring more. They may be saying, like, the Princess of Swords often has her life together. She's smart, she's intelligent, and she's a little more demanding. She's not gonna tolerate the BS. And I feel like, in a way, this person is saying whatever you required of them maybe was more than they could give. With the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, it could be that they're still kind of sowing their wild oats and doing their own thing and like exploring. And I feel like, in a way, their mind goes back to you a lot. They think of you a lot, but it's also like, I'm not willing to step up to the plate to do what this person needs from me. You know, I'm not willing to actually change or adjust myself. So I feel like those feelings are there, but it's also like this person is almost intimidated, or they think that what they can give you is not enough for you. Like, you would demand more, you would expect more. And I feel like that is where this person feels like they fall short. And they may, like I said, kind of have fun with that. They may even get off a little bit on like, haha, pile number 2 is waiting for me. They're the Princess of Swords, and they don't realize I'm in Prince of Wands mode. They don't realize I'm having my fun and enjoying myself. And I feel like they have a little bit of, I'm not going to lie, a little deviance coming through, a little bit of like mischievous energy, but I don't like the kind of mischief. Like, it feels a little, I don't know, it feels a little selfish. It feels a little teasing. It does feel like they may go back and forth. I also feel like this person thinks of you almost like despite themselves with the Two of Pentacles. They maybe weren't expecting to feel this way or to fall for anyone. They maybe weren't expecting to have feelings. And I feel like they almost feel safer emotionally when they're in the Prince of Wands mode, when they're just kind of telling themselves like, hey, I'm just having fun. I'm having a good time. You know, it's not that deep. It's not a big deal. And that's when they really kind of enjoy themselves. That's when they can kind of relax. And when they feel like they have to be very emotional and vulnerable and transparent, I feel like that's when they kind of panic. Also, the Eight of Wands. Yeah, this person just may like those kind of fast, quick connections. And they may not be very good at like persistence, sticking it out, pushing themselves, consistency. You know, I feel like, in a way, they just can't do that, or they're not in that mode. They may be in a mode of like seeing what happens fast, being very impetuous, being all over the place, and not even really knowing what their feelings are, because I feel like they don't allow themselves to really sit with that, you know? So do they still think of you? Yes, but it is coming through as sometimes they almost enjoy, I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I want to be totally honest. They almost enjoy like upsetting you or making you jealous. They may like this dynamic where you're the Princess of Swords and you are organized and neat, and you're not living a chaotic life. Maybe you're like a good girl or a good guy, and then they get to be the kind of chaotic one, and they get to be the star of the show. Honestly, they could be kind of narcissistic. This could be someone that enjoys being the center of attention and enjoys having you worry about them or wait for them. Or they could be someone that, like, if you were in a relationship with this person, they could be prone to seeking out attention from others, flirting with others, because it's like they need that. They need that ego hit. You know, they love to be the one that everyone is looking at. They love to be the one that is calling the shots. And I feel like there is an insecurity deep down that they just don't want to address. So they kind of do a lot of performing, do a lot of charming, do a lot of like, look how cool I am, look how good looking I am, that kind of a thing. Let me get into these cards for you. Pile number Pile number 2. Is this person still thinking about pile 2? Do they still have feelings for pile 2? Okay, we got decisions, predictive guidance, prophets and ancient seers. Wisdom of the Magi, mental clarity. Okay. So we got achievement. Archangel Zadkiel, self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, soulful appreciation, heartfelt gratitude. Yeah, I feel like this person, it makes a lot of sense because to me, this is also giving like ego driven. I feel like they could be that kind of person that keeps a list of everyone they've slept with or loves to brag to their friends about like, oh yeah, she was texting me, she's really into me, or I hooked up with this girl. I feel like they definitely care about what other people think of them, and they care about seeming cool, they care about seeming like a winner, they care about being the one who calls the shots. This person could even have kind of hidden their feelings for you, or you may have been like, I don't know, I just feel this strong sense that this person does like me, but they're always cagey, they're always weird, they don't come out and tell me. And I feel like a lot of that is because this person does, they love to be the one with the upper hand in the relationship, and they love to be the one who is calling the shots. So I'm not gonna lie, if any of you guys have like double texted this person, texted them and said, I miss you a lot or whatever, just know this person is definitely getting off on that. They are enjoying that, and they kind of love that. Like, they love to be the powerful one. And I don't know how genuine they are. I mean, in a way, it's hard for me to tell because I feel like it's hard for them to even know. Like, I also feel like this person does a lot of kind of disguising of their emotions, if I'm being honest. It's kind of giving, how there will be guys that will talk really badly about their ex-girlfriends, will like make fun of their ex-girlfriends and clown on their ex-girlfriends, kind of like right now, I guess, culturally speaking, pop culture, Cardi B with Offset, like he said all this kind of nasty stuff of her. He said, oh, you're my baby mama, I won, and all this stuff. But it's like, okay, but you're still talking about her. Like, okay, if you won, then move on, then be like, oh, I won. Great, cool. But you're still talking about her in public. And then she was talking about how he was sending her, voice notes crashing out and begging for her to get back with him. So it's like, okay, so what's the truth? In public, you're acting like you think she's a joke. But in private, you're begging for her. And it's giving that kind of energy where I don't even know if this person does have feelings or not, or they're hiding it, because I feel like they don't even want to admit to themselves. They kind of want to play games even with themselves and act like, oh yeah, like I don't care that much. But the reality is that maybe they do. But I also feel like it's kind of a mess to even be sorting through this, if I'm being honest. Like, I wouldn't want to have to deal with this because I do feel like this person, they're the kind of person that once they get a person back that they've been dating, they would take them for granted. Like I said, with Offset and Cardi B, he was cheating on her a lot, and she gave him multiple chances. And I'm sure every time he was promising like, oh, I'm never going to do it again, I feel so bad. But then he goes and cheats again, and it's almost like maybe he can't help himself. Maybe he's just that immature, and maybe he does really love Cardi B, but he can't act right. So, oh well. And I feel like that's the vibe with this person where, they may have genuine feelings. They may not. They may just be completely capping and all of it's BS. I don't know. But what I do get the vibe is this person wouldn't be the best to be in a relationship with. They would probably create drama and problems because I feel like in a way they feed off drama. They kind of love to have, like, they love it if you crash out. If you've ever crashed out over this person, sent them a bunch of texts in a row, told them that you miss them, they feed off that. Like, they need that ego validation. They need that ego stroke.
and that matters a lot to them. Honestly, to me, it's giving immature. I'm not a fan really of this energy. And I feel like for them, they sometimes lie and mislead to get what they want, and then they kind of laugh about it after, like, oh yeah, she believed it. And it's like, okay, but why are you lying? Why are you tricking people? Like, what is wrong with you that you feel the need to do that? I feel like deep down they do have lack of self-esteem, or they feel really that you're maybe better than them or something. But yeah, I think that they, this could be the kind of person that if you were to date them, they would try to dim your light, or they would never want to give you the props. Like, they wouldn't, how sometimes there will be a couple and the boyfriend will talk about the girlfriend and be like, oh my gosh, my girlfriend is such a prize. She's so beautiful. Like, I respect her so much and I'm so lucky to have her. Or a husband will do that with his wife and gas her up. And I feel like this is the kind of person that would just never feel comfortable doing that. They kind of would bring you down or feel the need to like knock you down and knock down your accomplishments instead of saying how awesome you are. They would do the opposite. So yeah, I think they have a lot of inner self-work that they have to do. They have a lot of inner growth that would have to happen. I feel like they are very attracted to you physically, and it's almost like despite themselves, they wish they weren't so attracted. I feel like, again, it's like how, Offset and Cardi B, it's like, it seems like sometimes you're like, okay, does he hate her? And then sometimes he seems in love. And it's like, it's one of those things where maybe even he doesn't know, or maybe he wishes that he wasn't so attracted to her, but he can't hold himself back, but he's still going to disrespect her. And yeah, I do feel like this person is very attracted to you. I feel like they do really like you. And some of them could be, like I said, not doing it on purpose, but just in like an immature energy. They could be someone that is not really skilled at making relationships work, or they could have a lot of like family trauma where they saw their parents fight a lot, or their dad not treat their mom well, or vice versa, and they kind of are acting that out again. But yeah, I feel like the thing is, they do care about you, they do like you, they do have interest in you. It's just like they're not capable of handling you with care. It's almost like, you see a little kid who is just, if you give him a really beautiful, valuable vase, he's probably going to knock it over. He's probably going to break it. He's not going to realize like, oh, this is beautiful 18th century porcelain. I have to take care of it. He's going to like smash it for fun, and sometimes that's a little bit of the vibe I'm getting with this person, They do have a lot of self-growth to do, as this Archangel Zadkiel card talks about. So let's get into this deck and see how this person is still feeling towards pile 2, Spirit. How is this person still feeling towards pile 2? So we got the Emperor, the Ten of Pentacles, okay, the Nine of Swords. I think this was upside down. The Five of Swords, the Six of Swords. Okay, you got a few. The Knight of Swords, the Magician, the Seven of Swords, wow, and the Six of Pentacles. So this person definitely wants some kind of power over you. They definitely want to be that one in the position of authority with the Six of Pentacles. I mean, honestly, we also got the Five of Swords reversed. Then we got the Seven of Swords. Those are two cards that can talk about lies, deceit, deception. I really think this person is not the most honest. I'm not going to lie. I want to give it to you guys completely straight, and they could be someone who has deceived you or been dishonest. Also, though, the Five of Swords can talk about where we're going to face a loss in any kind of disagreement or like entanglement. So I feel like in a way, this person You know, the Five of Swords can also be well, not all the fives, but the fives can be where we kind of seek out conflict. Sometimes, like the Five of Wands, could be fun conflict, like being playful with your friends or having a water balloon fight or going out drinking and, you know, maybe you like kind of get into like one of those funny, playful arguments with someone at the bar and you're flirting and, you know, but I feel like with that Five of Swords reversed here, it could show that this person, like, they didn't realize that you were going to take things seriously, or they didn't realize that when they would act like they were nonchalant, that you were going to, like, actually take that energy and accept it and run with it, or that, you know, if they kept poking you or doing things to get you mad, that you were going to cut them off and they could be regretting that. I definitely feel like this person, like I said, they really love to get that validation and attention. They may love to see you crash out. I've said that a few times. And so this could be the kind of person that like acts shady just so that you will like triple text them and say like, hey, what are you doing? Why aren't you responding to my text messages? Where have you been? And they may have done that and gotten like a little pleasure from that. Like, look at them. They're so mad. You know, that's so funny. Like, look at them. They're freaking out. And not realize that sooner or later you were going to walk away from that. You were going to be like, I don't have time for this. I'm done with this. This is boring to me. I don't want to fight with you. Go do whatever you want to do. Sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, whatever. And I feel like that for them is not something they've liked because like they really feed off your attention. They love your attention. So for a lot of you guys who did pick this pile, I could see this person still thinking of you, yes. But again, the immaturity is what is the problem here. Like, instead of them admitting to themselves that, like, yeah, they do want attention and validation and that it's time for them to step up and act right, I still feel like they are giving, like, petulant energy, kind of like toddler energy. Like, you know how sometimes when a toddler wants attention from mom, they may like knock over the cookie jar. They may, you know, throw their toys across the room. They may start having a tantrum and screaming or doing something bad just to do something bad, just so she's going to come in and start saying like, no, Bobby, you can't just eat all the cookies. And she's going to freak out. And even that negative attention is something that the toddler wants. And part of maturing and growing up is realizing like, oh, not all attention is positive and I don't want my mom screaming at me. So let me find another way to get attention. Maybe do something positive. Maybe tell her like, oh, by the way, I cleaned out the pantry, or I cleaned up this section of the house, you know, I cleaned up the living room. And that's my positive way of getting attention from her, not like doing something to make her upset. But I feel like this person kind of never matured out of that, and they still loved to see you upset with them, and they needed that. They may have felt like you were a little bit out of their league, and they may have sometimes doubted that and needed to see you like screaming, needed to see you upset, needed to know you care, and they went about it in the most immature, insecure ways. So are the emotions there? I would say yes, the emotions are there, but I also do feel like this person, just the immaturity is the problem. The immaturity is what keeps them from being completely honest. And there may even be some shame coming through about things they've done. Like if this person did cheat on you or they were texting other people or something, they may have known deep down that wasn't how they had to act and that wasn't how they should act. And a part of them may still kind of like run away from this situation in their own mind because they don't want to admit to themselves how much they screwed up. Let me get into these song cards for you. Pile number 1. Excuse me, pile number 2. Okay, Shades of Cool, Lana Del Rey. It's Too Late, Carole King. Blue Ain't Your Color, Keith Urban. Trip to Your Heart, Britney Spears. How does this person feel about pile number 2, Spirit? I Thought I Saw Your Face Today, She and Him. 5 Years Time, Noah and the Whale. Nightmare, Miley Cyrus. So there are some emotional cards coming through. So I would say they do care. And this person may have to live with a little regret, and it may not even happen right away. This may be something that like takes a while to fully set in. And they may kind of have that feeling where like with I thought I saw your face today by she and him, sometimes they see you places, or they wish you were somewhere, or they wish they could talk to you again, but they've messed up so many times and you cut them off and now you're done, and they're like, why have I been cut off from this? What? And I think it is hard for them emotionally to process that they screwed up, or to process that they did so many things wrong. I think for them, they do, their ego gets, their ego gets in the way of a lot of that. I feel like they spend so much time trying to be cool that sometimes they don't realize that they actually did something really lame. They could even be fans of like toxic people online or toxic spaces. Like if it's a guy, they could listen to like red pill podcasts or something. And, I don't know, not want to be a simp, or be like, here's some story about some guy ghosting his girlfriend and being like, wow, that's so cool. And so now I feel like they're kind of having to deal with those consequences, feeling like it's too late, where it's like, okay, I didn't expect this to blow up. I didn't really think about it. It is like that childish behavior where you do something bad. You don't want to think it through. It's bad deep down, but you are kind of in this little mischievous mode of like, hee, I'm going to steal this like sign from the bar. And then you're shocked when like you get in trouble, or you get kicked out from the bar or something. And that's like the vibe I feel like they have, is just like troublesome, mischief starting, not really processing, and then afterwards being like, oh, I don't like this. So I do feel like they miss you. I do feel like they wish they could be around you. But it depends also on the timeline, because some of them could be in this timeline where they're still having fun. They're still enjoying themselves. Like, haha, I haven't texted her. Haha, she's missing me. Haha, I'm in Prince of Wands mode. I'm talking to every girl around. I'm having fun. I'm getting numbers. I'm sleeping around, I'm enjoying myself. And they could be, they haven't seen the consequences yet. I do feel like this person is saying in some ways they do see you as better than them. And that may be why they kind of self-sabotage so much, or they ran away. I feel like as well they could think or imagine that there will be a time in the future when you guys could come back together with a 5 years time song. But yeah, I'm not loving it. To me, it's not giving like romantic hero. It's not giving King of Cups. It's very immature. It's not something I really feel like this person is in their divine energy and really capable of being an amazing partner. Let me get into some astro dice for you. Pile number 2. Okay, this one flew out to Aries. Then we have the 5th house, aka Leo, and then we have the moon, aka Cancer. So we have Aries, Leo, and Cancer represented. So Aries rules over the Emperor, and the Emperor, I was not surprised at all when we saw that. The Emperor is a super ego-driven card. The Emperor likes to be in charge, likes to have the power. I feel like this person, maybe they don't have any power, and that's why they feel the need to create it. Sometimes when someone is feeling like a loser, that's when they're going to start, lording their power around. And like, if someone's broke, they may go into the restaurant and start trying to order around the waiter because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel like, oh, I have power over this person, right? And by the same token, this person you may have triggered so many feelings of insecurity in them, of not being good enough, that they ended up like seeking out other people, because then they could feel powerful. Then they could feel like, wow, this person really wants to be with me. This person is begging me. You or the other person, maybe you wouldn't give them that validation. Maybe you stayed independent. Maybe you stayed like looking out for yourself and being like, I'm not tolerating this. So this person had to run off and find it from someone who would beg them, give them attention, and kind of like moon over them the way that they wanted. They wanted someone who was like, oh my God, pile number 2's person, you're so gorgeous. And they may have had to find that in someone else, or they may have done things to try to provoke that energy from you. But I don't feel like it actually filled their ego cup in the way it needed to be filled. I don't feel like it actually gave them any happiness, any feeling of satisfaction. I feel like at the end of the day, they still struggle from this kind of weird low self-esteem thing. Aries is also a very selfish energy. It is on the astrological wheel opposing the seventh house of marriage and relationships, the Libra house. It's the first house of the self, myself, what I want. And I do feel like this person primarily thinks in those terms. Aries is a fire sign, so is Leo, which will be the next sign we talk about. And of course, fire is very reckless, lives in the moment. Aries definitely does that probably the most. So they can do things without thinking through the long-term consequences. And I do feel like there's a lot of that energy coming through of someone who does something and doesn't really consider, like, how is that going to affect things? How is this person going to feel or react? With Leo coming out, they could be very ego driven and they could primarily think of themselves and how that's going to make them feel, how that's going to make them look. I also feel like with Leo, they could be very much thinking about like what their friends will say, what their friends will think, what others are how others are going to react to them instead of thinking about you and kind of like this communal relationship you guys have. I feel like in a way they do a lot of performing. They definitely want to seem cool. They definitely want to seem unbothered. They definitely don't want to seem like a simp or obsessed or heartbroken. So they could put on a very good performance, even to themselves, of acting like they really don't care or it's not bothering them. But I do feel like deep down, they definitely do feel this loss. And then we have the moon. The moon is delusional sometimes. It rules over Cancer in astrology. In tarot, it's ruled by Pisces. I do feel like with the moon, what's coming through is the way the moon obscures, the way the moon hides things. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if this person was kind of lying or they were just generally dishonest and generally not forthright about things. They could do a lot of beating around the bush, or you could feel very confused by this person, like, wait, what did you say? Or wait, what do you mean? Or what does that mean? And you could be very, very unsure of their emotions, like unsure of their honesty. Like, are you telling me the truth? Did you lie about that? What's going on here? Why didn't I hear from you? And it's like you can't really get a right answer out of them. Or even if they answer you, you're like, I don't even know if they're telling the truth. This doesn't really resonate with me as truth. Like, there is that kind of lying quality that I feel like has come through a bunch in this reading. So yeah, this is not my favorite energy. I'm not going to lie. I want it to be really honest. And this energy, yeah, it's not my fave. I would say, are they thinking of you? Yes, they do think of you. They do care. But I also feel like this person is just so kind of low vibrational, immature, that it's hard for them to even step up and realize it for themselves of all the things they've done wrong. And they can be very reckless and hard to deal with. This could be the kind of person that can really kind of mess you up and just leave you with scars and leave you very upset with their treatment of you. So yeah, they're super ego driven. I am not a huge fan of this energy, but take it how it resonates, guys. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please let me know in the comments. I'm really curious about this pile. I didn't mean to come across brutally harsh, so I hope no one's mad at me, but please let me know what you think, and also give this reading a like, hit the thumbs up button if it did resonate with you, and turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. That really helps with the algorithm. And if you want to, well, let me just say really quick, if you want to book a reading with me, I think I'm actually going to be going on a break for readings pretty soon. So if you would like to book a reading with me, then, and you've been debating doing it, it's probably better to do it now rather than later. Just wanted to give everyone a little bit of a heads up on that I am going to be clearing my calendar and I'm not sure when it's going to be resuming. So if you want a reading, then just go ahead and book that soon. And then I'm going to be doing a little break. So whether you want a tarot reading, astrology, channeling, mediumship, a combination, whether you would like it to be shorter or longer, live or pre-recorded, you can customize your session with me. Head to Briar Rose Tarot if you do want to book a slot with me. And then also I have my Patreon where you can see all my additional readings. I'm going to be probably also taking a little bit of a break from YouTube as well, but I will be still posting over on Patreon. And there are so many readings to choose choose from over 100, and you also get new exclusive readings all the time, as well as early access to all my YouTube videos. But I'll be probably focusing more on the exclusive readings and tamping down my YouTube just a little bit temporarily. But anyway, if you would like to book, or if you would like to sign up for Patreon, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description. I just posted a reading all about messages from your future spouse, but there is so much content to choose from. So like I said, if that interests you, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description for my Patreon. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon. Hopefully, I'm not sure, but hopefully with another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. You guys got the 8 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, the High Priest, aka the Hierophant, 2 of Swords, and the Death card. So the first thing that's coming through is this person being really intimidated by you. I feel like with the High Priestess and the Hierophant, both of those are spiritually very powerful energies. I feel like this person may have felt at times like you could read them like a book. They may have felt a little bit too known by you, and it may have been intimidating for them. You know, like it's kind of like, in a way, sometimes we like to have that fresh slate, right? Like sometimes when you're a kid, it's fun to go off to summer camp where no one knows you, and you can create your whole new identity, and you can tell someone about how like you snowboard. Maybe you're from Colorado and everyone you know snowboards, but you know, you go to summer camp somewhere in like Arizona and no one really snowboards, or on the East Coast, and they're like, oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean? We love that feeling of getting to like impress a stranger. And sometimes it can be tiring when someone knows us so well. And I do feel like this person with you, it's like they're drawn to it, but they're also scared of it. Again, it's kind of like the feeling you get when you come home for Christmas and you spend it with your family, and they know all your little quirks, and they know all your, you know, embarrassing things that happened. That energy can sometimes feel a little intimidating. And that's what I'm getting with this person is, on one hand, they loved being known by you. On the other hand, it's like, this is too much for me. So I feel like this person in so many ways, they put you up on a pedestal. They think of you as amazing, and they may have literally thought of you as like way outside their league, maybe more financially successful than them. They may have been comparing finances with you. We got a lot of Pentacle cards. And I feel like in general, they felt this very psychic, deep, spiritual connection. Maybe you guys had a past life connection. I would say they still think of you, but there's also a lot of this kind of blocking out energy that I'm getting so far, and we'll see what comes up for the rest of the reading. But I am getting this strong energy of like, I don't want to think of pile number 3. Like it makes me uncomfortable, you know, it makes me feel not as confident. Whereas I feel like with other people, they can maybe have a little more fun with it. Maybe you're not particularly playful, or your relationship was always just really deep. Maybe your conversations were immediately deep, like right off the bat, y'all were talking about childhood trauma or religion or spirituality or something that, you know, it wasn't as fun and lighthearted. But I feel like sometimes this person sees you as so amazing that it actually like freaks them out, and it actually makes them kind of want to run away, because they feel like you do know them so well and so much better than everyone else, and they feel this pull towards you that I feel like is kind of unfamiliar for them. Like they're not used to feeling as drawn to someone as they felt towards you. But then it's also like not being able, what is that phrase? If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. And I feel like in a way, if this person ghosted you or went no contact, that's what this person did. Like they may have been trying to run because of the intensity of that connection. And I really wouldn't be surprised with the High Priestess coming out and the Hierophant, the High Priest, that if you guys maybe had a past life connection, you could look at your synastry chart in astrology. Maybe y'all have aspects to each other's south nodes, but it really feels like, you know this person so well. You know them like the back of your hand. You can read them like a book. And I feel like in a way, this person, first of all, I feel like they weren't looking for this kind of connection. It's not like they set out like, oh, I want to meet my soulmate. I feel like in a way they were thinking like, oh, it'll be fun. Pile number 3 is hot. Like, this is great. And then as you guys got more into it and more deep, it's like, oh, pile number 3 is also freaking amazing and really smart and a hard worker, and they have their life together and they see through me. And maybe you inspired this person to step up, to be better, to improve themselves in some way. And I feel like in a way they like that, but it also makes them self-conscious. It's like, oh my gosh, how does pile 3 know me so well? Again, it's kind of like how when you go home for the holidays, it's nice on one hand to be around your family, and it's great that they all remember the goofy story about like something that happened in 3rd grade, and everyone can laugh about the Halloween parade and, you know, what went wrong and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, it also can be kind of like, it makes you feel a little trapped, right? It can make you feel a little claustrophobic that like they know all about what happened at the Halloween parade in 3rd grade. There is no secret that you have. There is no stone left unturned. There's no little part of yourself that you can actually trot out and impress them and blow them away with like this new funny story, because they know all your jokes. They know you so well. And I feel like sometimes you guys had that dynamic, or this person felt that way about you, like, wow, pile number 3 can see into me, who I am so deep down. And sometimes I feel like that freaked them out. This could also be someone that is just not as confident when it comes to their career, when it comes to their money, when it comes to their life, as you are. They may feel like you have accomplished more than they have accomplished, like you're more successful than they are. They may feel like they can't measure up to you, or even to like an ex or something. They may feel like you're out of their league in some ways, or like the people you have dated are on a higher level than they are, and they're like, I don't know how I could measure up. I don't know how I can actually be good enough for pile 3. So let me just run away from this entirely. Let me just ignore this and pretend that I don't feel this way. You know, I feel like for them, I could see some of the people in this pile having like avoidant attachment. It's almost like maybe when things get too intense or too emotional, that's when they run off. I feel like I could also see some of them actively working on some self-improvement with the 8 of Pentacles. They could be trying to get their money up, get their career up. They could be trying to fix certain things about themselves, and they just don't feel ready yet. There could be a part of them that is kind of putting off being with you, stepping towards you, communicating with you, because they really would love to do it when they're like, hey, you know, my career's awesome, my body's in shape, I look amazing, and now I can take you on that date. And you might be like, no, I'm not sticking around and waiting for this person, but this could be something in the back of their mind that they think about, like one day I'll see pile number 3 again. One day I'll contact pile 3. And that could even sometimes be a cope they use to make themselves feel better. Like, no, I'm not scared. I'm not shying away. I'm just postponing it. It's kind of like when you know you need to clean your kitchen or your part of your apartment, whatever. But instead of doing it, you're like, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. It'll be easier tomorrow. You know, it'll be easier during the day and I can see better. Or I'll do it when that podcast comes out and then I'll have something to listen to. Or when Bride Rose Tarot releases a new video and then I can listen to that. Just kidding. But yeah, I feel like you know, it's like you tell yourself this thing because the reality is you don't want to face it in that moment. You don't want to do it right then. You don't want to have to do that work. And I feel like for right now, this person is a little afraid of making themselves vulnerable. They may perceive that there's a high chance of rejection from you, or that they're just not going to be good enough for you. So they could end up running away and just kind of keeping you at arm's length because they're terrified that you're going to wake up and be like, what have I been thinking? Why have I even been talking to someone like this? I'm freaking pile 3. Look at me. Look at everything I have going on. Like, what have I been doing wasting my time with this loser? And then, you know, they wouldn't get that. They would blow things entirely with you, you know, and I don't feel like they feel like if you really looked at them that you would be impressed. Part of them may think you're crazy or like you've lost your mind that you're even talking to them. You know, they could constantly be in this state of insecurity of like, oh my God, one day pile 3 is going to wake up and realize that I'm this schmuck and I'm this loser. And look at them and look how perfect they are and look how many options they have. So yeah, I feel like they do think of you. But it's also like there is for some of them a lot of distraction going on, a lot of focus on like keeping themselves busy. Like I feel like, again, back to that metaphor I made of like not cleaning your apartment. Excuse me. It's kind of like how, when you don't clean your apartment, when you're like, oh, I know I need to do the dishes, or I know I need to scrub, my tub, or whatever it is. Most of the time you don't go sit and like meditate or write in your journal or, calm down and like just sit in silence. Most of the time when you need to clean those dishes or whatever it is, that's when you will start like distracting yourself. That's when you'll start scrolling on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram or whatever. Or that's when you'll like call up a friend and chat or watch a movie or go online or, it's like you're not going to want to sit with yourself, because as soon as you do, you're going to start thinking about those dishes or the tub that needs to be scrubbed or that email that you need to send, or whatever you're kind of putting off, right? That's when that will come to the forefront of your mind. This is why I always recommend people do spiritual baths. And a lot of people will say, I tried to do a spiritual bath, but then it's like, as soon as I got in the bath, and it was full of Epsom salts, I just had all these negative emotions come over me. And then I started like panicking and worrying about this I had to do and that I had. And it's like, yeah, that's a normal part of a spiritual bath, because that stuff has to be purged out of you and then you can move on, right? But most of the time, it's like we don't want to deal with those emotions. We want to put them on the back burner. We want to ignore them. And that's what a lot of this person is doing. Like they are running away. They aren't confronting. They are distracting themselves a lot. So yes, thoughts of you definitely do pop up frequently for this person, 100,000%. And I don't want to make that out to be anything other than what it is, or to make you think like, they don't really think of you, but kind of sometimes like, no, I do think they do think of you a lot, but also I feel like this person is a master distractor. Like they are really good at just ignoring, at just finding something else going on. Like even the Three of Wands, like they could be someone who likes to keep themselves really busy. They could be someone who really likes to distract themselves and constantly have something new going on, and like, okay, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm doing this, I'm going out to this club, or I'm planning this trip, or I'm going to go research this, whatever, to keep their mind off things. With the Two of Swords, they definitely struggle with this decision. I feel like they think of you a lot and they kind of wonder like, okay, should I text? Should I reach out? But then they always find a way to distract themselves from it, Let me get into these cards for pile number 3. Does pile 3's person think of pile 3 still? Do they care? Do they have emotions? Thought vibrations, resonant choices, signature signals. Okay. Okay, these cards are taking a while. Archangel Haniel, joy, blessings, intuition, prosperity, abundance, success. Archangel Raziel, wisdom, inspiration, Akashic records, and you guys get 2 final cards. Prophets and ancient seers, decisions, predictive guidance, and this one is wisdom of the Magi, mental clarity. Wow, interesting. So I do feel like with this wisdom of the Magi card, this person does think of you. Like, in a way, I feel like even though they spend a lot of time ignoring their thoughts of you, it's like late at night, they may not be able to ignore it, and they may turn you over and over in their mind. Some of you guys could really think of this person a lot late at night, and I feel like some of it is because they are sending you so many thought vibrations, and they're just sending you a lot of this energy, and you guys may feel very connected on the astral plane. And I feel like this person keeps trying to kind of understand, like, in a way, what's coming through is shame about their actions, because it's feeling a vibe of like, I chickened out, or I ruined it, or I didn't step up, And I feel like a part of them is a little bit
chagrined or embarrassed or just like not happy about it. Again, I do feel like this person spends a lot of time distracting themselves and ignoring it. They could also be literally quite busy in their life and just working on, like I said, they're working on building. They got the prosperity card. It really matters to them that they want to be able to step towards you with success. They don't want to come to you as like some unfinished product that is janky and is like this work in project and this work in progress that isn't done yet, and you're having to like ignore the fact that they're broke or ignore the fact that they have this issue, whatever. So I feel like they are working on themselves. That could be what's keeping them busy. I also feel like sometimes they deliberately keep themselves busy and they are doing a lot of that work, like I said, with the Three of Pentacles. But I do feel like sometimes when they think of you, it's like they do feel this deep sense of clarity and they do feel this deep sense of, I need to change. It's almost like how, like I said, back to that metaphor of putting off cleaning your kitchen or whatever it is. You know how sometimes you might get a rush of, okay, I'm going to do this, that thing you've been putting off. If it is sending an email, if it is filling out a form, if it is, okay, I'm going to deep clean the grout on my bathroom tiles or whatever it is. You might have a rush as you're going to bed. Like maybe you spent the whole day procrastinating and you didn't do anything you were supposed to do. And as you're going to bed, you start thinking, okay, you know what? Tomorrow's the day and I'm going to send that freaking email. I'm going to write it, or I'm going to do that research, or I'm going to, contact this person, whatever it is you haven't been doing. That's when you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. And of course, maybe the next day rolls around and then you chicken out again, or you distract yourself, or it's easier to stay in bed and watch some TV so you don't end up doing it. And I feel like sometimes this person does that, where they are aware of how special you were. They are aware of how important your connection was. And they do care about you. They do have feelings for sure. But I feel like they also feel this sense that this is not the right time. Like this is deeply intuitive for them. And it's also like, I don't know. Again, this person feels busy. Like it feels like they are working on themselves. And part of the reason they're working on themselves could be, in a way, because they want to make themselves better for you. I also feel like that's a bit of a cop-out, I'm not going to lie. Whereas maybe this person does have some kind of fear of commitment or attachment issues. And it's almost like it's easier for them to tell themselves like, oh, I'm doing all this because one day I'm going to actually contact pile 3, instead of admitting, I'm just scared. I'm just a chicken. I'm just not brave enough, Like I said, again, I don't mean to beat a metaphor to death, but maybe that's your reasoning when you're procrastinating, doing that, scrubbing the grout. It's because like, oh, I don't have the right tools. I need to get this first, or I'm going to email that person back, but I need to do research on this first, or I need to figure out that form, and then I'm going to email them, or I'm not in the right mood. So, I can't write it now, but I will. And, it's like, I feel like they do a lot of that. They are scared because I feel like they wouldn't even know what to do with you if you were to be like, yeah, let's 100% date. They might sabotage it. They might be doing a lot of self-sabotage. Again, I feel like this is the kind of person that like they do really well on a first date, second date, and they're kind of more comfortable in the shallow end of the pool. I'm not saying this person isn't a deep person, but I don't feel like they really want to be so deeply known. And I feel like you're very intuitive and you could read them like a freaking book. You could probably read a lot of people like a book. You're probably very intuitive in general with that High Priestess card. And I feel like this person sometimes felt too known by you. Like it's almost like, no, I want to be on that first date, cracking jokes that, maybe I've told this same joke about like, oh my God, why is this wine list says notes of oak? Why are we drinking oak or something? And it's the same joke you tell on every first date, but it's like, it's going to get a laugh with the new person, or that person hasn't heard your whole shtick about like, yeah, so anyway, that's how I got into investment banking, and you tell it with like a funny story, and they're going to smile and they're going to laugh and be like, oh, that's really funny, even though you've said it a million times and you're good at that surface level interaction. But if someone was like, so tell me about your childhood trauma, you'd be like, oh my God, excuse me, like that's too intimate. And I feel like
this person, yeah, like they're more comfortable with keeping things a little casual. They're more comfortable with keeping things in the shallow end of the pool. And when it starts to get really deep, that's when they kind of chicken out and that's when they run away. So yeah, I feel like in a way they, they may promise, they do think of you and they do feel like they missed out on something really deep and special and valuable, but it's also like they don't feel good enough. They don't feel capable enough. They don't feel ready to have that level of intimacy. Let me get into these cards for you, this tarot for you. Pile number 3. How is this person feeling towards pile 3? Do they still care? Did they ever care? What are their emotions and thoughts? Okay, we got the Queen of Cups reversed, the King of Swords, the Four of Cups, okay, so we got the Hermit, the Hanged Man, the Star, the Ace of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, I do feel like I've been saying, it's funny, you guys I think are the Queen of Cups reversed, and then they are the King of Swords. Cups is our emotional side. It's where we go deep. It's where we fall in love. And they see you as the Queen of Cups. They see you as very adept at that. They see you as very intuitive. Like you can read them. You are emotionally skilled. You are, almost like a psychologist or a therapist, or can read them like a book. Like you're very good at that. You're very capable of close, intimate relationships. And they see themselves as the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is not as emotional. It's more logical. It's where we are intelligent and we can, like I said, make great conversation and tell some great story about, what happened at work today. But it's not where we go deep. It's not where we share our heart and open up our soul. And I feel like that's where this person got freaked out. That's where this person was just like, I can't do this, and may have run away. With the Hanged Man, they may have just pulled the escape valve. You can see this guy's just hanging onto this random, whatever it is, bird, dinosaur thing. And he's just probably doesn't know where this bird is going to take him, but he's flying. He's just trying to leave, It's like, let me just get the heck out of here, whatever way I can. Let me get out. And I feel like this person, yeah, they may have crashed out or something. They may have, again, I feel like they do a lot of this cope. They do a lot of coming up with excuses. And this person is probably very intelligent. They're probably very capable of creating all kinds of narratives in their head about no, I needed to leave. It's good that I didn't respond to that last text message because you know what? I wasn't in a place for that, or she couldn't have handled this emotionally. She would have rejected me in the end, and I was just saving myself the trouble. They do a lot of that lying to themselves. And, even if they're in a relationship, they got the Hermit card. It's like they would only be in a relationship when they can not really give all of themselves. It's kind of like sometimes you see two married people. Maybe they've been married for years, but they kind of live separate lives. They're not that emotionally close. It's not like, oh my God, this is my soulmate and the love of my life. And I just am so connected to them emotionally. It's like, yeah, this is my husband. But anyway, we vacation separate. We sleep in separate beds, which I think can be totally fine because I'm a light sleeper. But my point is with the Hermit, it's like you can really keep yourself emotionally at a distance from someone and not emotionally open up to them. And I do feel like with this person, they could feel a lot easier keeping things surface level. We got two ace cards, the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, which is interesting because the aces are new beginnings. So again, like I said, I feel like this person would be great at first dates. I feel like they would be great at first impressions. I feel like they would be great at the introductory phase, the honeymoon phase, the beginning, the part when you're finding out all about each other. You don't really know each other that well, and there's that excitement, but there's not the level of intimacy where you've been with someone for 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 years, and they know all your idiosyncrasies, and y'all have been living together, and y'all have been spending life together, and you know each other so well. That's when this person freaks out. They don't want that. They want that distance. They want that unfamiliarity and that mystery. And I feel like they felt like you were knowing them too well, and this potential, they can recognize it as something very special. We got the Four of Cups, which talks about literally a gift from spirit that comes out of nowhere and is like so special and holy. And I think this person recognized that, but it just freaked them out and they didn't know what to do. They probably never felt this way before about anyone. And it was just like, oh my God, what do I do with this? Let's get into some song cards for you. Pile number 3. How does this person feel towards pile 3? Do they still think about them? Wildest Dreams, Taylor Swift. High by the Beach, Lana Del Rey. Okay, this one is Wouldn't It Be Nice, the Beach Boys. It's Too Late, Carole King. Daylight, Taylor Swift. Yummy, Justin Bieber. Talking Body, Tove Lo. And let's get one final song. Lover, Taylor Swift. So I feel like it's funny. I feel like Spirit directly answered my question. I said, does this person still think of pile 3? And then we got Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift. And literally the lyrics that come to my mind from that song are like, you'll see me in hindsight, tangled up with you all night, burning it down. So you'll see me in hindsight. I definitely feel like this person does think of you a lot, remember you, has these deep memories tied to you. And they could be very spiritual in nature. Like I said, I feel like this person feels very divinely connected to you on the astral plane. With High by the Beach by Lana Del Rey. I do feel like there is this deep psychic connection that may come up when their mind is cleared, and I do feel like, it's almost like they can distract themselves a lot. But there are times when it's just like unignorable. Like I cannot stop thinking about pile 3. And it's just coming to me so strong. It's kind of like how, I don't know, maybe sometimes you don't really care about your ex. Or you can just be like, oh, whatever, I'm better off. But, you have a few glasses of wine, you're a little tipsy, or you're high, or whatever, and suddenly those thoughts just become really overwhelming and you can't run away from them anymore. So I do feel like this person sometimes, as much as they run, on the astral plane, when their mind is clear and open, when they're dreaming or sleeping, or right before they go to bed, that's when it's just like overwhelming. I feel like they also have this very defeatist quality to their thinking. We got a kind of spate of these songs, like Wouldn't It Be Nice, followed by It's Too Late. I feel like they have this kind of complacency sometimes of like knowing that what you guys had was so special, but also not taking action and just kind of dismissing it as like, yeah, too much time has passed. And it's almost very defeatist. And it's almost like it's always been that way since the jump. They have not had that energy, that verve, that like, okay, I'm going to do this, that they needed to put themselves at risk and to reach out. I feel like they may make promises about like, I'll do it tomorrow, or yeah, I'm going to text, I will, but then they just chicken out and they are in this kind of complacent chicken, scaredy cat vibe, sometimes they just don't feel good enough, and so they don't send that text. They just are sure that you're not even going to respond. So they kind of tell themselves, oh, it's better this way, whatever, it's fine. And it's meant to happen like that. And I'm not that unhappy anyway, but I feel like, again, late at night, they like can't run from this anymore. And it becomes very overwhelming. Let's get into some astro dice for you. Pile number 3. Ooh, okay. So we have Leo here, we have the 10th house, aka Capricorn, and then we have Uranus, which rules over Aquarius. So Capricorn, Leo, and Aquarius. I feel like Spirit is really telling me to roll this one more time because it did drop out accidentally, not with intention. And I usually never do that because I never want people to think I'm like rolling on purpose or picking out certain signs. But I do feel like Spirit is just saying like, you need to roll it again. So I'm going to try it one more time. Capricorn. So we have double Capricorn. So let me spin it one more time because I don't like doubles.
Come on. Okay, Cancer. Great. I mean, we could still read for Leo. I just felt like Spirit was like intentionally roll this one. So anyway, I hope no one's bothered by that. So we have Capricorn, Cancer, and then we have Aquarius. So Capricorn energy. It makes sense for this reading because first of all, Capricorns are very concerned with their productivity. Capricorns can be quite self-critical. It's not a delusional energy. It's not a everything's awesome about me type of energy. It's not a like, hey, it's all fine. Capricorns can be very harsh on themselves because they're ruled by Saturn, which is the harshest planet. So they learn that they got to get things right. They got to work hard. They've got to, be their best. And they're not going to like gaslight themselves into like, I did awesome when they failed something. And again, I feel like this person has that kind of overly self-critical vibe at times when it's like they are so harsh on themselves and their inner voice is just like, whoa, like just really mean to themselves, if I'm being honest, Capricorn is also all about, like I said, productivity, achievement, accomplishing things. It rules the 10th house of career. So Capricorns, like, they're usually not going to be satisfied with like low income jobs, or if you tell them, oh, well, you're not really the best. They're not going to be like, okay, cool, awesome. They're going to really feel this pressure to accomplish things, to build something, to make something happen, to win, to succeed. This is something that's very important for Capricorn placements wherever Capricorn is. It's not I just want to chill out and lay by the beach type energy. And a lot of Capricorns, like, they just don't identify with that energy because they feel this deep need to succeed and to create value and accomplish something. And they have Saturn kind of breathing down their neck. So again, I feel like a lot of this sums up this person's energy where right now they just may not feel good enough and they may be very harsh on themselves about like where they're at and feel literally incapable to approach you because they're like, yeah, I'm such a failure, or I'm not good enough, or pile number 3 is doing so much better than me. And they just have this inner voice that's very negative on themselves. Then we have Cancer. Cancer is super intuitive. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So very psychic energy, very warm. It actually does share an axis with Capricorn, the 4th to the 10th house. So, but Cancer deals with like your inner life, how you are with your very closest people. And again, I feel like that's where, that Capricorn Cancer axis, actually it sums this up really well, which is maybe why Spirit wanted me to roll the dice again. But yeah, because Capricorn is your public self. It's how you are with your like coworkers or with, in the public eye. It also rules the house of public honors and achievement. So it's kind of like someone's perception of you that doesn't really know you that well, or your coworkers' idea of you, a professional version of you. And then Cancer is your innermost self that no one else gets to see. I love Stephen Forrest's depiction of Cancer as that feeling you get when you come home from work. You take off your coat, maybe you take off your stiff work clothes, you pour yourself a glass of wine, you get on the couch, you put on your coziest pajamas and maybe, curl up with a blanket and you relax a little. That's Cancer. And it's how we are with our closest inner family and friends. And I just feel like this person wasn't capable of that. They could feel how much you knew them, but it freaked them out. Instead of making them feel comfortable, it was like, oh, no, I don't know how to do this. I'm good at like the public sphere. I'm good at like performing at work. But that inner knowing, cuddling with someone in bed, how someone looks when they just woke up in the morning, them seeing me on this deeper level is just too scary for me. Then we have Uranus, which rules Aquarius. I feel like Aquarius is also, technically it's co-ruled by Saturn, like Capricorn. And again, it's also good at that distance or not being that known. It likes a little space. It likes a little distance from someone. It doesn't want to be all up close and personal. So I do feel like that sums up that vibe as well. Also, what's coming to me with with Aquarius is Uranus is the planet of surprises that come out of nowhere, both good and bad. And I do feel like this person feels like you were just a huge blessing dropped into their life, but it's also like they were not expecting this and it was a huge surprise to them. So they may not have been like ready. I feel like they kind of wish they'd had more time to prepare. Like, oh my God, if I had 6 months and I had known I was going to meet someone like Pile 3,
dang, I would have hit the gym. I would have changed this. I would have gotten this degree. I would have fixed this about myself. I would have gone to therapy. I would have blah, 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 blah. Like they wish they had more time because they do feel like you just came out of nowhere, like, whoa, this huge surprise for them. But I do feel like, does this person think of you? Definitely yes. They definitely still care. But like I said, I think they're doing a lot of running away, distracting, and like ignoring their feelings. They're not so good at being honest with themselves or others, or going really deep. So that's the problem. But yes, they definitely do care about you. I really hope that resonates. Pile 3. Let me know if it does in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts and your stories and your observations. So please let me know what you think. And also make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe. That really helps the channel. And I am also, if you don't know, I do private readings, and I just want to let everyone know that I am going to be taking a break from private readings. So if you've been debating doing a private reading, then I would do it pretty soon. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be resuming private readings or how I'm going to handle that. So if you've been considering booking one, then this is the time to go ahead and do it. And then I am going to be going on a pause and probably pausing things over here on YouTube for a while as well. Definitely going to still be posting on my Patreon though. But anyway, if you would like to book a session with me, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. And if you want a short reading, a longer hour-long reading, a one-on-one Zoom call, or you want it to be pre-recorded, you can customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. And then also, you get to customize whether we focus on tarot, astrology, channeling, mediumship, all that jazz. So if you want that, then go to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Link for that is in my description. And also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website. Wait, I already said that, sorry. If you would like to join my Patreon, that's where I post all my additional readings, and also that's where I'm going to be posting more during my little hiatus. So if that sounds good to you and you want to see access to more of my content, over 100 exclusive readings, then you will find them on Patreon. The link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description. I just posted a reading all about your message from your future husband. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, join. There's so much other content. Like I said, over 100 exclusive readings. And then also you do get early access to all my YouTube videos. Although, like I said, I think I'm going to be posting mostly on Patreon. So, not sure how much early access you guys will get. But anyway, if that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps for Patreon. That's about all I have to say, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you hopefully soon. Hopefully I'll have time to film another reading. And I am sending you all my love. Until then, take care. Bye.